What if I told you that the system you trust with your money is quietly designed to keep you in debt for life? Not because you're bad with money, not because you didn't try hard enough, but because most people were never taught how money actually works. In America today, the average person is drowning in debt, credit cards, student loans, car payments. It never ends. And the worst part? Every month feels like you're working just to stay in the same place. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Debt is not just a financial problem. And today I'm going to show you how to break out of it step by step, with a strategy that actually works in the real world. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear, actionable plan to go from overwhelmed to financially free. Let me tell you something that might shock you. Most people don't fall into debt because they're bad at math. They fall into debt because they're being quietly manipulated. Think about it. Every time you open your phone, you're hit with ads telling you to buy now and pay later. Every store offers easy financing. Every credit card promises rewards, cashback, and points as if you're winning a game. But here's the truth. No one says out loud, you are the product. Banks don't make money when you win. They make money when you stay in debt. And they've mastered the art of making debt feel normal. Swiping a card doesn't feel like spending. Monthly payments don't feel dangerous. Minimum dues feel safe. But that's the illusion. Because psychologically, your brain doesn't register digital money the same way it registers cash. When you hand over cash, you feel the loss. When you tap a card, there's no pain. And that's exactly how the system keeps you spending. Now add emotions into the mix. You've had a stressful day, so you buy something to feel better. You see someone successful online, so you upgrade your lifestyle. You feel behind, so you spend to catch up. This is not financial behavior. This is emotional survival. And then comes the most dangerous trap of all, lifestyle inflation. The moment you earn more, you spend more. Not because you need to, but because you believe you deserve to. And just like that, your income grows, but your freedom doesn't. So understand this clearly. Debt is not your enemy. Unconscious behavior is, because until you control your habits, your money will always control you. Here's the moment most people avoid. The moment that actually decides whether you stay stuck or finally take control. Because right now, your debt feels like a shadow. It follows you everywhere. It stresses you out, but you never fully look at it. And what you don't face, you can't fix. So let me ask you something honestly. If I gave you 60 seconds right now, could you tell me exactly how much debt you owe? Not a rough guess, not around this much. The exact number. Most people can't. And that uncertainty? That's where anxiety lives. That's what keeps you feeling overwhelmed, stuck, and powerless. But here's the twist. The moment you see the full picture, the fear actually starts to shrink. Because now, it's no longer a monster in the dark. It's a number, and numbers can be controlled. So here's what you need to do, and this is non-negotiable. Sit down. No distractions, no excuses. Write down every single debt. Credit cards, student loans, car payments, personal loans. Next to each one, write total balance, interest rate, minimum payment. This is your financial X-ray. It might hit you hard. You might feel regret. You might feel embarrassed. Good, because that emotional discomfort, that's your wake-up call. Most people stay broke, not because they owe too much, but because they avoid looking at it. But you're not doing that anymore. Because today, you stop guessing, and you start taking control. All right, this is where everything changes. Because once you see your debt clearly, the next question is simple. How do you actually destroy it? And here's where most people mess up. They try to pay everything at once. They get overwhelmed. They lose motivation and quit. So instead of chaos, you need a focused attack plan. Think of your debt like enemies in a game. If you fight all of them at the same time, you lose. But if you eliminate them one by one, you win. There are two powerful strategies that have helped millions escape debt. First, the snowball method. This is where you attack your smallest debt first, while making minimum payments on everything else. Why does this work? Because winning feels addictive. You pay off one account, then another, then another. Each victory builds momentum. And momentum creates discipline. You're not just paying debt. You're training your brain to believe, I can actually do this. Now the second strategy, the avalanche method. Here, you focus on the highest interest debt first. Mathematically, this is the smartest move. You save more money over time. But here's the catch. It feels slower, and slow progress kills motivation. So here's the truth no one tells you. The best strategy is not the perfect one. It's the one you won't quit. If you need quick wins, choose snowball. If you're disciplined, choose avalanche. But whatever you choose, commit to it. Because consistency, not intelligence, is what gets you out of debt. Let me be brutally honest with you. You can have the perfect plan, the best strategy, and all the motivation in the world. But if you keep adding new debt, you're digging a hole while trying to climb out of it. And that's why most people fail. Not because they don't try, but because they never stop the bleeding. So here's the rule that changes everything. You cannot move forward until you stop going backward. Right now, your first mission is not to pay off debt faster. It's to stop creating more of it. That means no credit card swipes, no buy now, pay later traps, no impulse purchases. And I know what you're thinking, but what if I really need something? Here's the truth. Most of the things you think you need are emotional decisions disguised as necessities. You're stressed, so you spend. You're bored, so you browse. You feel behind, so you upgrade. But every one of those small decisions, they quietly reset your progress back to zero. So here's a powerful weapon you can use immediately. The 48-hour rule. Any non-essential purchase, wait 48 hours. No exceptions, because time kills impulse. What feels urgent today feels unnecessary 2 days later. And suddenly you realize you didn't need it at all. This is how you take back control. Because getting out of debt isn't just about making more money. It's about breaking the cycle that keeps pulling you back in. And the moment you stop the bleeding, that's the moment you finally start healing. Let me guess. Every time you hear the word budget, you immediately think of restriction, stress, and spreadsheets you'll never stick to. And that's exactly why most budgets fail. Because they're built like punishment. But what if I told you a real budget isn't about limiting your life? It's about taking control of it. Right now, your money is probably disappearing without a plan. You earn, you spend, and at the end of the month, you're left wondering, where did it all go? That's not a money problem. That's a clarity problem. So let's fix it with something simple and powerful. Use this structure. 50% needs, rent, food, bills. 30% wants, entertainment, lifestyle. 20% debt plus savings. But if you're serious about escaping debt faster, you need to flip the script. Cut your wants aggressively, temporarily, because every dollar you free up becomes a weapon against interest, a weapon against time, a weapon against the system keeping you stuck. And here's the key most people miss. Your budget is not set in stone. It's a living system. Adjust it weekly. Track your spending. Stay aware. Because awareness creates control, and control creates freedom. You don't need perfection. You just need consistency. Even if you mess up 1 week, reset the next, because this isn't about being flawless. It's about becoming intentional. And the moment your money starts following a plan, that's the moment your life starts changing. Here's a truth most people don't want to hear. You can only cut your expenses so much, but your income, that has no ceiling. And this is where everything can change, fast. Because if you're only focusing on saving money, you're playing defense. But the moment you start increasing your income, you go on offense. And offense is how you win. Think about it. Cutting $200 from your budget takes effort. But earning an extra $500, that can completely change your trajectory. Yet most people stay stuck because they believe one dangerous lie. I don't have time. But the reality is, it's not about time. It's about priorities. If you have 2 to 3 hours a day for scrolling, Netflix, or distractions, you have time to change your financial future. So where do you start? Simple. Look around you. You likely already have assets you're not using, skills you can monetize, items you can sell, time you can leverage. You can freelance online, pick up a side hustle, drive, deliver, or learn a high-income skill like copywriting, sales, or video editing. And here's the key: don't wait to be perfect. Start messy, because your first $100 matters more than your perfect plan. Why? Because it shifts your identity. You stop thinking, "I'm stuck in debt," and start thinking, "I can create money." And once that switch happens, everything accelerates. Because getting out of debt isn't just about cutting back, it's about expanding what's possible for you. What if I told you, the number you see on your debt statement is not always the number you have to pay? Sounds crazy, right? But this is one of the biggest secrets in personal finance. And most people never use it because they assume debt is fixed, non-negotiable, final. But here's the truth: debt is a business, and like any business, it can be negotiated. Think about it. If you stop paying, the bank risks losing everything. So from their perspective, getting something is better than getting nothing. And that's your leverage. Yet most people never even try, because they're afraid of a simple phone call. But that one call, it could save you hundreds, even thousands. Here's what you can do. Call your credit card company and ask for a lower interest rate. It sounds small, but even a few percentage points can dramatically reduce how much you pay over time. If you're struggling, ask about hardship programs. Many lenders will temporarily reduce payments or pause interest. You can also explore debt settlement, where you negotiate to pay less than what you owe in a lump sum. Or consider debt consolidation, combining multiple debts into one lower interest payment. Now listen carefully. This isn't about escaping responsibility. It's about playing the game smarter, because the system has rules. And once you understand them, you stop being controlled by debt and start controlling it. Here's the part nobody talks about. Getting out of debt is hard, but staying out of debt, that's where most people fail, because if nothing inside you changes, everything outside will repeat. You can pay off every dollar, feel proud for a moment, and then slowly, quietly, fall right back into the same habits. Not because you're weak, but because your identity never changed. You are still the same person, just with a temporary win. So let me ask you something powerful. Do you see yourself as someone who is good with money, or someone who's just trying to survive it? Because that belief shapes everything. If you believe you're bad with money, you'll prove it again and again. But if you start seeing yourself as disciplined, aware, and in control, your actions will begin to match that identity. And this is where real transformation happens, not in your bank account, but in your behavior. So build systems that protect you. Automate your payments so you never miss them. Track your spending weekly so nothing slips through. Set clear limits so you don't rely on willpower alone, because willpower fades, but systems don't. And here's the final truth. Freedom isn't about having more money. It's about having control. So don't just aim to become debt-free. Aim to become the kind of person who never falls into the trap again. Let's bring everything together. Because if you've made it this far, you already understand something most people never realize. Debt isn't just about numbers. It's about decisions, habits, and identity. And escaping it doesn't happen overnight. It happens in small, consistent actions repeated every single day. No shortcuts, no magic tricks. Just discipline, clarity, and commitment. You've seen the psychology behind debt. You've learned how to face your reality. You've got strategies to attack your balances, and now you understand how to stop the cycle for good. But knowledge alone won't change your life. Action will. So don't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. Start today. List your debts. Choose your strategy. Cut unnecessary spending. Build momentum. Because every step you take, no matter how small, is a step away from stress and a step toward freedom. And remember this, financial freedom isn't reserved for special people. It's built by ordinary people who decided to take control. The only question left is, will you be one of them?